there, my mutant mavericks and apocalyptic gamers. Today we're diving into a retro gaming gem that packed a super-powered punch in the 90s. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Released on the Super Nintendo, this game brought us our favorite mutants from the comic pages right into our living rooms. Stick around as we uncover how Capcom brought the X-Men universe to life with pixel-perfect precision and the triumphs and challenges that shaped this iconic title.
Everybody, Apocalypse is back, alright. Hey, yeah, oh.
Oh my god, and I'm back again.
Back in the early 1990s at Capcom's headquarters, where the creative storm was just about to unleash, Capcom, already famous for its fighting games, decided to bring a new level of narrative and character fidelity to the X-Men universe. But why X-Men, and why then? The early 90s was the golden age for Marvel's mutants, with their stories dominating both comic book sales and Saturday morning cartoons. Capcom saw a golden opportunity to translate this popularity into the gaming world, making a strategic move to capture both comic fans and gamers. The development team, led by producer Tokaru Fujiwara, was known for previous works on titles like Mega Man and Ghosts 'n Goblins. Fujiwara and his team set out to create a game that wasn't just another beat-em-up. They wanted to craft a title that allowed each character to shine with individuality, something the arcade games of the time have often overlooked. To achieve this, they implemented unique control schemes and special moves directly inspired by each mutant powers from the comics, a decision that required a deeper understanding of each character and a lot of creative engineering. This approach wasn't without its challenges. Balancing the gameplay so that each character felt distinct yet equally enjoyable to play as was a Herculean task. The development team spent countless hours tweaking and testing, ensuring that playing as Cyclops with his optic blast felt as rewarding as Wolverine with his claw-laced brawling. Their decision paid off, giving players a sense of individuality and choice. While the development sailed smoothly for the most part, it wasn't entirely free of turbulence. The biggest controversy, or let's say a major fan gripe, came from the decision to include specific characters while leaving out others. Fans of Nightcrawler, for example, wondered why their favorites were sidelined in favor of less popular characters like Psylocke. This choice was driven by the game's design focus on varied abilities and the narrative scope planned for this title, reflecting the tricky balancing act of fan expectations and gameplay requirements. But in X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, the storyline isn't just a backdrop, it's a crucial component that drives the game's entire structure. The plot closely mirrors the themes and conflicts familiar to fans of the X-Men comics, specifically drawing inspiration from the Extinction Agenda storyline. In this game, each mission is a critical part of the X-Men's fight against the tyrannical rule of Apocalypse and his minions on the island fortress of Genosha, a narrative that explores themes of oppression and freedom. The game features 5 playable characters, each with their own initial solo missions, which is a nod to their individual story arcs and powers. Genosha, being a central location of the X-Men comics, is depicted as a dystopian society, where mutants are enslaved and oppressed by a government that fears and hates them. The game's narrative picks up with Professor Charles Xavier, leader of the X-Men, sending his team to infiltrate this island and disrupt the oppressive regime's operations. The initial solo missions are crucial as they involve disabling various key facilities and gathering information, all aimed at paving the way for a full-scale assault on Apocalypse's stronghold. First up, we have Cyclops, who is tasked with destroying a power supply station, crucial for disabling Genosha's mutant control devices. This mission reflects his ability to make strategic decisions under pressure, as players navigated through the heavily guarded corridors using his optic blast to eliminate obstacles and enemies. Then there's Wolverine, who is sent to rescue captured mutants from a detention center. His mission is more melee-focused, showcasing his brawling style as he fights through hordes of enemies to free his fellow mutants. This reflects his role as a fierce protector of mutant kind, willing to dive into the heart of danger. Then we have Beast. His mission involves infiltrating a computer center to gather vital intelligence. His levels are designed with numerous platforms and puzzles, utilizing his agility and intellect to navigate through high-tech security systems. followed by Psylocke, who must stealthily penetrate a heavily fortified weapons factory, setting explosives to cripple the enemy's armament capabilities. Her gameplay involves avoiding detection and strategically taking down enemies with her psychic blade, emphasizing her stealth and precision. And last we have Gambit, who is tasked with destroying a supply train, preventing the transportation of vital resources intended for mutant suppression. His mission combines a fast-paced action with strategic use of his card-throwing abilities to cause maximum disruption. After completing these individual missions, the storyline converges as the X-Men gather for the final assault against Apocalypse himself. The last segment of the game challenges players to utilize all skills and strategies they have developed, reflecting the teamwork and unity that are hallmarks of the X-Men. Throughout the game, the narrative cutscenes further the plot, providing context and deepening the player's engagement with the unfolding events. These scenes are crafted to give players insights into the motivation and conflicts of both heroes and villains, enhancing the emotional and dramatic stakes of the gameplay experience. Now shifting toward the gameplay mechanics, where the comic book fantasy truly comes to life, turning button presses into mutant powers. Each character's abilities aren't just flashy moves, they're meticulously designed to enhance the narrative and challenge the player's skill. Capcom implemented a control scheme that mirrors more of a fighting game than a traditional side-scrolling action game. Players must input specific combinations, similar to Capcom's famed Street Fighter series, to execute special moves. This decision not only deepens the learning curve, but also enriches gameplay, making each encounter a strategic battle where players need to think and react like a mutant hero. For instance, Cyclops' Optic Blast can be executed with a quarter circle forward motion and punch button, a staple move from fighting games, giving a sense of power and precision. Wolverine, on the other hand, unleashes a berserker barrage with a combination that feels as wild and frantic as the character himself. This not only reflects their abilities, but also their personalities through gameplay. Now, if you think maneuvering through Genosha with mutant powers is as cool as it gets, imagine hitting that like and subscribe button with the same heroic finesse. Quick, slick, and totally epic. Just a tap, and you're part of the Mutant Academy here on YouTube. Now, back to the Mutant Matters.
Everything they've built will fall!
Jazz, how much did you spend on them opera tickets?
And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one! Magneto, take that pile of ash beside you and build me a better Eiffel Tower, but make it blue and sparkly and twice as high!
Starting to regret signing up to be a horseman.
The game also introduces level design that cater specifically to the abilities of each character. As said earlier, Cyclops' levels often involve distant targets that need precision shots, while Wolverine's stages are packed with enemies, reflecting his melee fighting style. Beast's stages require a blend of brain and brawn, using both his agility and strength to overcome obstacles, emphasizing his dual nature as a scholar and a warrior. Each character must navigate through environments filled with traps, enemies, and puzzles that require using their abilities in creative ways. This not only makes each playthrough unique depending on the character chosen, but also adds replay value to the game, encouraging players to experiment with different strategies and approaches. Moreover, Capcom didn't shy away from making the game challenging. Health pickups are scarce, and the game demands mastery over the character's abilities to progress. This high difficulty level is not just about making the game hard for the sake of it, but is a deliberate choice to encourage players to engage deeply with the mechanics, much like mastering one's mutant powers. The fact is, this game not only dazzled fans with its sharp sprites and deep mechanics, but also made a significant mark in terms of sales and cultural impact upon its release in 1994. Let's crunch some numbers and see how this title fared in the wild world of gaming markets. First up, sales figures. Upon release, the game quickly became a hot item among gamers, especially for those who were fans of the X-Men series. It leveraged the massive popularity of the X-Men franchise, which was at its zenith thanks to the comic books and the animated TV series running at the time. The game's success was bolstered by Capcom's reputation for high-quality releases, ensuring it flew off the shelves during the holiday season and secured its place as a must-have title for the Super Nintendo owners. But sales are just the beginning of the story. The cultural impact of X-Men Mutant Apocalypse is where things get really interesting. The game arrived during a golden era for superhero games, helping to set a standard for how comic book characters could be adapted into them. Its approach to character-specific abilities and missions influenced later titles, showing that superhero games could offer deep, varied gameplay that went beyond simple beat-em-ups. This was a game that didn't just want you to play as an X-Man, it wanted you to feel like an X-Man, with all the unique powers and challenges that come with the mantle.
Whoa, Apocalypse. I was just trying to give you a friendly fist bump. Ah! I can't feel my legs! Not that that's anything new.
Now in X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, there's a special treat for those who master the game. A unique ending that rewards skill and patience. Here's the lowdown on how to unlock this richer, more detailed finale that goes beyond the standard closure. To kick things off, players must embrace the challenge from starting from scratch. No shortcuts here. Begin the game without using any level passwords. This ensures that the entire adventure unfolds from the very beginning, allowing players to experience every aspect of the storyline. Next step, ensure survival. No X-Man can fall. This means playing through the entire game without losing a single character, a true test of one's mastery over their mutant abilities and strategic thinking. Each character's unique skills must be utilized effectively to navigate through the multitude of challenges the game throws at you. Once the initial missions are completed, the game shifts to the critical asteroid levels. Here, players face the ultimate challenge: successfully complete each character's individual level on the asteroid. This phase is crucial as it determines who gets to face the game's final boss, Magneto. Choosing any character to defeat Magneto isn't just about finishing the game, it's about unlocking the special ending. This is where the game rewards players for their flawless victory. Instead of the standard ending where the X-Men's plane simply flies up to the asteroid with a thank you note from Capcom, players are treated with a more elaborate slideshow sequence. In this enhanced ending, as the plane ascends, the hatch opens to reveal non-playable X-Men characters, adding depth and a sense of unity to the team. If you've never cracked the code on this, it might be time to dust off that old cartridge and console to get the full experience. And just like that, much like Cyclops' Optic Blast, we've reached the explosive end of our deep dive into X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Until next time, keep your gaming consoles close, but your comic books closer. Over and out, fellow mutants. If you enjoyed exploring the halls of X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.